Good morning, Suburban Prepper. Fed troops are in Chicago. So that's the news. And I'm driving into one of the far south suburbs of Chicago today to go to work, of course. And I'm excited. I don't think anything will happen where I work at. Thank God I don't have to go into Chicago Prime for anything today related to the job. Good morning. This is Suburban Prepper. I'm live, doing a live stream this morning. Although my YouTube says that nobody's on during the morning, but I'm driving to work. Doing a little differently today. I have the camera facing a little different angle, straight up. So, excuse my silence for a minute. I don't want to get hit. Anyway, so it's been a good week, a frustrating week at work. It seems like the work tempo has gone up, I'd say 30%. A lot of work, but nothing too serious. Working on my Amazon storefront, Suburban channel, Amazon storefront, where I have a bunch of gear that I recommend. Most of it I've owned or still own and use it. I'm excited about that. And just making more prepper videos, doing some more experiments. So today after work, I'm going to have to stop by that hardware store in out where it's more populated, Harbor Freight. And I'm going to have to go by Harbor Freight and get a piece of equipment from them that I'm going to need to do my solar generator build. I'm going to use those, what's the keyword I'm looking for? Those toolboxes that come on wheels. They're big toolboxes and you can stack them up on each other. And one's going to have the gear to make like the solar generator, inverter, the everything else. And the other box will have the batteries, the 12-volt batteries. I'll just have them wired. I mean, I know how to drill a hole in a piece of plastic and wire it through. That's nothing. So I want to get that done finally. Now, the only difference is I need to get some different solar panels. I want ones that can collapse, because this is supposed to be a bug-out solar generator system, a 2,000-watt system to compete with commercially available systems. Now I'm wondering if it's really worth it, but I haven't really looked at the prices of a 2,000-watt system versus what I paid for. It's like pennies on the dollar. Although the prices in lithium batteries have gone up quite a bit in the past couple of years since I've had them. So that was a good investment when I had it. So as a prepper, we think about the future, we think about the present, and we learn from the past. And I got inspired listening to talk about gold. I said that would be for a video, because there's some preppers that are adamant about not stocking gold, and there's preppers like me that say, "Yay, you need to stock gold. It's a long-term asset." And then there's some that say, "Well, you can't eat gold." And I say to that, You can't eat ammunition either. I mean, there's a lot of prepping things that you can't eat. And gold and silver is something that doesn't lose its value. As you'll watch my video, I just released it. It actually has increased in value. I'm not telling you what company to invest in or anything like that. I don't represent anybody other than just my opinion. But it is what my opinion is. A little awkward moment of silence as I hate going behind trucks, dirt on them or rocks, and it hits my truck, my pickup truck, Jeep Gladiator. It's all good. So I'm liking this. I think I'm going to like this new angle. I have my phone hooked up to the window. It's not really affecting my ability to drive or see anything. Where I had it before, it was at an angle. And I'll just be honest with you, I never liked that angle. I look too fat. Because I am too fat, but I'm working on that. One thing I've discovered that I love doing now is I have my weight bands, my lifting bands that I take, and I have different hooks and crannies on my Jeep Gladiator here, enough that I can connect my bands to those and get a good workout using my Jeep Gladiator as the point of resistance, the fulcrum point for these elastic bands. Now, I'm worried about doing something like that in my house because the doors would break off. Well, because you are pushing weight and you're pushing tension, and I know that tension stretches out, but you're still putting pressure on a pivot point on a door, and I don't want to ruin my doors. And I took it into work once, but it's just so awkward because I don't give a shit what happens to the doors at work. Let's just be honest. And I don't want patients touching my gear either. So I quit doing it at work. And I have a membership at a gym, but I got to cancel it. I just can't, for the life of me anymore. I can't sit flat on a bench press. Oh, here's an awkward situation. There's a fire truck that's trying to merge into traffic, and people aren't letting them merge in. And this guy could get easily behind my ass, but he's not going to. He's going to be a fuckhole. You're a fuckhole. Yeah, go ahead. You could have gotten behind me. Oh, I'll fuck. You want to dance, buddy? Anyway, I'll shut up. I'm sorry. That's the thing around here. These Illinois people, they think they're so entitled to everything that they're allowed to cut you off and tell you to go F yourself. They come here to Indiana, they mock our culture, but yet they enjoy our lower prices, our better cost of living, our stable form of government, although it's not perfect. They buy our cigarettes and our booze because it's cheaper. They shop at our food stores because it's cheaper, leaving us with less resources to go eat. And of course, they buy our gasoline because their governor, their fat ass governor, does whatever the hell he wants to do. They're corrupt as hell. And that's not all of Illinois. That's the Chicago area. And yet my ass works in that area. And I'm going to just be honest with you. Most of these people out here are so bitter and so vile and hatred. But yet they'll praise the Lord. That's my rant. I'll just shut up. So yeah, what's going on this weekend? That's a good question. Well, today after work, I'm going on one of my forced walks. I'm going to try to go 3 miles today, where I just go for a walk. I might wear a rucksack. We'll see. Maybe I should do a live stream of me doing a ruck march, gasping for air. That'd be funny. I had a commenter, someone leave a comment on my channel about my current physical fitness levels. Some about, I bet you couldn't walk up a mountain, hike up a mountain for 2 miles without having a heart attack. And I probably won't have a heart attack. My arteries in my heart are very clean, thank God. It's just the pumping mechanism sucks. So I might pass out from congestive heart failure, but I won't have a myocardial infarction. And yeah, I can walk 2 miles up a hill. I guess it would be 2 miles down the hill too, but I think he was exaggerating the hill component. I mean, there are hills that go up a couple miles, but you're going to have to go back down. So I said, we'll set the parameters. What pace is it going to be at? Because I'll be on at a 20-minute mile. I can do that in a heartbeat in 20 minutes. 15-minute mile, on and off, not that long. And I can't jog it at about a 10 or 8. I can't jog it right now. That's, that may sound pathetic to some of you, but it's all relative. This time 2 years ago in March, no, I'm sorry, what month are we in now? We're in September. Oh my God. September 2023, I went into heart failure. Felt like I was swimming in my own lungs. And it sucked. So, and I would just walk a couple of feet and stop for air. I had to sleep, whatever sleep I could get. And at that point, I was ready to die. I mean, I was just ready to die. I checked myself into the hospital, stayed there for a week, stayed home for a couple months to recover, went back to work, worked from home because I was struggling at work, and I slowly got built back up. I wanted to start doing prepping videos back then, but I needed time to recover. I was walking with a walker for a while. I thought about just getting a wheelchair, but luckily there was a physiatrist who motivated me a little bit. I was going in for an examination. So, and at that point, I was walking 10, 15 feet, and I was just exhausted. Turns out I was allergic to labetalol, the beta blocker. And I was so short of breath from it. So we made the medical adjustments, and here I am now. My ass is driving to work. Basically, it's a 45-minute drive, and I'm doing it. I walked 1.5 miles, 2 miles the other day. I want to do 3 today. That is the definition of success to me. Okay. I'm actually doing physical lifting of exercise, not just talking about it. So yeah, do I got a ways to go? Will I be 18 again? Hell no. But I'm going to be the prime that I can be in. And that goes to the point where your first prep should be your physical body, your mental body, your holy body. I think that there's 3 parts to a person, okay? the physical body, the shit, the bones, the brain, all that. Then you got the brain itself, the psychological part, your part that you're sentient, okay, that you know that I exist, which I think we put too much of a big deal into the word sentient. Okay. I don't know what a dog thinks, to be honest with you. Does the dog know if it's sentient? We say they don't. How the hell do we know? And then the spiritual, and I don't like to use the word spiritual because that can mean anything or nothing to anybody. The religious part, your body, your soul, part of something better. I can't stand when someone says I'm spiritual but not religious. Now, people are entitled to believe whatever the hell they want. You can believe whatever you want. I don't have to believe in it. I don't have to acknowledge it. And I don't have to respect it. But I don't, if it doesn't affect me, it's not really an issue. That's the thing. People think that we have to respect other people for what they believe in. And what if we disagree with them? We're not going to respect that point of view. That doesn't mean you get to treat someone like shit, though. Case in point. Sometimes it's good not to get along with people. We got to have our differences. It takes the more mature mind not to escalate it to violence just because you disagree with someone. Sadly, I see that a lot in my population I work with. Everything has to escalate to punches. And nothing gets resolved. But back to Trump put National Guard in Chicago around the federal centers. And the thing is, the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois, they're opposed to it. Why? Because Chicago's a cesspool of crime, and that's one of our biggest. That's one of our good cities, and we don't want Chicago to turn into Detroit, where Detroit's basically a dead city. It is, like it or not, a dead city. If our cities die out, then the country doesn't far fan from it. So I can respect what Trump is doing. What I do worry about, though, is overreach by the feds at the local level. But the problem is Pritzker, the piece of shit governor of Illinois, and Howard the Duck, or whoever the corrupt mayor of Chicago is. I don't even follow that. Maybe I should. They're not doing anything. I don't know if they're in cahoots with the warlords, gangs. I don't know what their cooperation is. Or I don't know if they get, or if it's all planned. I really don't know. But I do know that what Trump is doing has to be done. And I don't really agree with all of it, though. I don't want the feds to have to go into a state and tell them to go how to straighten themselves out. I'm opposed to that. But if the states have failed miserably, what the hell else are we supposed to do? Let our states, if the states fail, the nation fails. But I'm more of a states' rights person. So when you fail as a governor, but yet you continuously get elected because your constituents are stupid, well, maybe it's time to do something. Now, this voter ID law, right? Fuck you. The voter ID law. Guy's pulled out all the way to the front, looking pissed off. Smack his face. Right? If I want to go to, okay, my Second Amendment rights require me as a citizen to show identification do a background check, clear the background check before I can practice my Second Amendment rights. For the safety of others. Now, I'm not a big fan of that, but it is the way that it is. It doesn't really work. More laws is not, if you could just enforce the laws that are on the book already and take suppressors off as part of a weapon. Suppressors need to be what they are, basically earplugs for a firearm. That's all they are. Okay, I digress. So why is it that I have to present ID and do a background check for my Second Amendment rights, but yet for my First Amendment right, these peoples, okay, for the greater good, are opposed to showing some ID before you can go out to vote? Why is it that you don't need to show ID for your First Amendment right, and you need to show ID Amendment right? Well, the reason is because they cheat. And they'll get people somewhere to election. That's the only reason. They'll get people to go to other districts and vote. That's the only reason. Now, in a perfect world, I wouldn't need to show ID to go and vote. I wouldn't need ID to go and practice my Second Amendment rights. But we're not in a perfect world, okay? There is some local, state, county, federal, all some jurisdictions. And the federal land of the law says, if you want to do a pew-pew, you need to do a background check. Okay, whatever. And then I hear the comment about, well, what if you have a mental health problem? Listen, every one, how do I word this without coming off as, I don't know. Well, just because someone's been in combat, okay, and they have PTSD, that doesn't make them unstable to own a firearm. Okay. Just because someone's got some depression or anxiety doesn't make them unstable to own a firearm. If you can't rationalize, if you as a person can't know that, yeah, okay, I got some depression, life sucks, and my only solution is to injure myself or someone else with a firearm, that's not a good solution. As a combat vet with PTSD, going out to the gun range actually is cathartic. I get a sense of relief from it. I wear earplugs, but I get an awesome sense of release that you would not understand, especially the higher calibers, when it punches me in the shoulder and it makes me feel like I'm alive. It's like, you know, that movie Flashdance when the girl was dancing and the water. That's how I feel when I'm shooting my 50 cal. Am I a great shot? No, I'm not. But do I have fun doing it? Yeah, I do. Can I hit an object at 1,000 yards using my scope? Yeah, I can. But I'm no sniper, and I have to do the dope calculations when I'm shooting out that far. I don't keep it memorized in my head. What's the question? No, a 308 was not meant to go out to 1,000 yards. I don't care what anybody says. The most is 800 yards. 800 yards, folks. If you're going to go that far out, at least go up a notch with a 300 Win Mag. And I can't stand when someone tries to get an AR-15, 5.56 or 2.23, and they try to get it beyond 500 yards. Now, 500 yards, 500 meters, there isn't much of a difference. Okay. I calculate distance on patrol in meters, okay, because that's like kilometers. That's what we're used to doing. But when I'm expressing distances in shooting, the word yard comes out. The furthest I've had a 22 LR, 200 yards, that I hit an object repeatably within a 2 MOA. Now, that may not sound like that's basically the bullet holes are 2 inches of each other consistently using my Ruger RPR Precision with Eli match ammo. Yeah, of course I had a scope on it. I just discovered I own some cheap ammo that shoots just like Eli. I got to remember which one it is. It was some cheap ass ammo that I bought. But this stuff shoots so good. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Ellie is a gun ammo. They make 22 LR ammo, and they make it. I don't know what the Olympians shoot now, okay? Because they've gotten so politically correct. But back in the day when they used to do targeting, it was with a 22 LR. They would have these beautiful, beautiful handcrafted boomsticks and shoot with them. And they would use Ely ammunition. You can't reload at 22s because the way the cartridge is set up, the firing pin's inside. That's why it's called a 22 LR. Yeah, I'm on my way to work. Now, so far, so good. I don't see. There was one cop that pulled somebody over. She's probably speeding. It's Friday, so yeah. Well, this weekend I'm going to be harvesting some crops in my prepper garden. This year I'm planting pinto beans and planted lima beans, and I'm getting quite a bit of each. I mean, for the space that I have, I'm getting quite a bit. Obviously, if I planted more and I had more room to grow, they would expand out further, but I have the space that I have, and that's okay. My mistake this year, and you make mistakes and you learn from them. My biggest mistake this year, I should have planted my eggplant and my tomatoes indoors, started them in late winter, early spring, indoors in my basement, and then transplanted them outside. That's what I should have done. But lessons learned, I didn't. I started too late. Well, because they're still growing. Yeah, I'll get some. Our first crop frost doesn't happen until October sometime. It's usually the end of October. So I'll have plenty of fruits of my labor. And I'm going to barely squeeze by the second, my second crop of carrots. Now, carrots are a cool crop, but they don't survive below freezing. I tried that last year. They just withered away and died. There's a lady on the phone next to me. Just what's that called when they they use their fingers and type? I haven't been paying the hell attention. Or is it a boy? I don't know. I can't tell the difference sometimes. So yeah, I got a lot of patience today. Nope, she's not paying attention because she's not going. Retarded. So let me take back my answer from a video I made a couple months ago. After much thought, I had to pick 3 rounds for SHTF. Okay. 3 rounds for SHTF. I'm going to break in, break down. It would be, my first round would be a 12 gauge shotgun. You know, the ones that you shoot the birds with. Skeet. My second caliber would be, now here's the thing, before I mention it. I mean, what's really a good home defense round? An all-purpose round, okay? That's the round that I would pick for my second choice. And that's where I mentioned the 500 yards. And so it has to be a 223 or a 5.56. That's my second round, okay? And inevitably, my third round, I want it to go beyond 500 yards. I want it to be able to tackle anything that lives in the area that I live in the United States. So it'd have to be my 300 Win Mag. Those would be the 3. If I had to pick 3 rounds, those would be it. Okay. I understand that at 9 mil, I got stuck under the railroad track, the choo-choo train. It's okay. There's no sense in turning around and going the other way because it takes longer. The 5 minutes you're stuck at the train, it's just 5 minutes. And let's just be honest, folks. If I'm 5 minutes late for work on a Friday, who cares? I'm not going to get out early anyway. I never do. So I'm stuck behind a train, but these guys, what they're doing is connecting the trains to each other. I don't know what that's called. And they're just connecting the trains. So sometimes they got to go through this road system. Yeah. But you saw my my Amazon storefront. Yeah, I'm trying to stick with prepping stuff, okay? My daughter says I should call it Suburban Merch, and she wants me to have a toy section. Well, because I can link all the toys that I bought off of Amazon there. So they say to do videos with the toys and stuff, and I play with her toys with her. So why not? But my oddities list is my list of chemicals I think every prepper should have. I'm working on the descriptions of everything. Yeah, my site's active, but I got to work on each list and why it's important, and just give my little spiel. Now, obviously, my front page, a lot of it's geared towards medical stuff. Okay, most of it's geared towards prepping. But I have a holistic care, holistic naturopathics section that I have about 91 different herbals and supplements, and I'm working on that. And I gotta watch my language. I'm not diagnosing anything when I say what it's used for. But before you buy,
new text message from 53,941.
Before you do anything, put anything in your body, you need to do the research I mean, you can read what somebody says on their page and then do your own research and see if something's good for you. Now, I won't list crap on my page because I know what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, I have some of the more common herbals and supplements, and also have some of the less common Ayurvedic herbs that you can get in powders and resins, and not resins, but powders. And they help with some specific things. And I'm slowly going through that. Well, it's like eating for your health, but you can't grow some of these herbs in a garden if you live in a grow zone that requires stuff to be subtropical. So you can't grow all this stuff. I hear people say, well, you can grow your own stuff, and the farthest they go is they have a seed packet that they've never opened, and it has a list of seeds of medicinal herbs, and half the shit won't grow in the location that they live in because it's too cold. Let's just be honest. It's too cold. These plants won't grow. Okay. Plants need sun and heat to grow. There's some plants that do good in the cold, like lettuce or broccoli. And those definitely have medicinal purposes, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about naturopathics known through time. I mean, yeah, you can get broccoli and freeze dry it and put it in a capsule, but you can also just eat broccoli. I mean, like I can't grow pineapples in where I live at because it's, I'm going to sneeze. You're going to have to watch me sneeze. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. The bromelain in pineapples, that's healthy. Watch my video that I did about it. The video sucks. I'm probably going to redo the video. Originally, I put my car in park. I forgot. No sense in holding onto the brake. Anyway, I'm over the tracks. And I hate being over tracks. I don't trust people. And I'm over the tracks. Yeah, this is the same hat that I wear when I do my prepper videos. I've had it for years. It's my unit's patch. What's my first unit's second patch? Our first patch used to be the horse with the airborne tab on top of it, the lightning bolt for SOCOM. And this patch is United States Army Special Operations Command. And the unit has subsequently switched patches now. I don't know how many years ago, a decade ago maybe, as they formed their own command. It's U.S. Army Special Operations Aviation Command. And they're under that organization now. Why they did it, I don't know. The structure of the military, but basically it's the same unit with a general in command over the regiment. Well, maybe because people are just throwing the guys around too much. I don't know. And you needed a 1-star. But the Rangers don't have a 1-star. So the SF, I guess they do have a 1-star represented at SOCOM. Well, here's the thing. You need to have, I'm not going to talk military here, but you got to have generals that understand the capabilities of your soft units. Just because you're a general doesn't make you, you may not understand what a soft unit's capable of if you've never really worked with them. I'm not a general. I'll never be one. But that's why you have to have some generals that are from those organizations, and they can tell you what they're capable of. and you listen to them. In the military, a lot of times, your level of intelligence is based on your rank. I hate to say that, but that's how a lot of people treat you. Believe me, I met some E7s to O5s, he said, that weren't the brightest cookies. And no, they don't pass on infinite knowledge. Well, the same goes with me. I don't know everything. I don't have the solution to everything. And sometimes I don't know what resources I have available in my own facility where I work at, because I work outside the facility in a different location. But I didn't want to go into Chicago and work. Thank God. I hope nothing bad happens around here today, because I want to have a sweet day. So yeah, I lifted. My shoulders are still sore as hell. It seems like my shoulders have gotten weak, but I'm gonna let them heal up good. Then I'll lift some more with the bands. Oh, I mean, I'm hitting muscle failure, so that counts for something, right? I'm doing most of the exercise. Well, I'm doing all of them standing up. Shouldn't you do all of these exercises standing? I know, I know. We do push-ups on the ground, but you can get up off the ground. I used to have the ego with the bench press as well. But my neck and my back, I can't sit flat like that on a bench. My back just won't do it. It's too messed up. Yeah. Well, we had some rain the other day. I didn't need to water this week. I haven't been overwatering my crops, and they're growing just fine. I used to overwater them. I wonder if they got too waterlogged. This year, I'm really not overwatering them. But when I do water them, I make sure to soak the tomatoes. I give them a good long soaking, so the water definitely gets to the roots and it grows that way. Yeah, my tomatoes, I failed my tomatoes this year. Oh, the trick to tomatoes, though, is you harvest them when they're green. Okay? Don't wait till they turn red on the vine, ladies and gentlemen. Harvest them while they're still green, because when they turn red, that tells the plant it's time to die. Well, that's how I did it, and I still get 2 or 3 more growth of tomatoes. So what do I do with my tomatoes? We make tomato paste. I actually cut my tomatoes up and I freeze dry them. So with my freeze dryer, I need to do another freeze dry video. I have Mylar bags that I purchased, that I make my own. And if I want to double the thickness of them, I could just use 2 Mylar bags, put one inside the other, but they're basically hollow. And that's how I would do it. You just don't want anything to penetrate the bag. There's nothing magical about Mylar. It's a strong plastic. Isn't it a plastic? And the oxygen absorbers, basically, they get all the oxygen and moisture and hold it in a chemical compound like rust. It becomes a rust in the thing. So yeah, there's ways you could do it. So I've been looking at this outside cooker that people could bring inside the home that should hit the fan if we didn't have any more gas. And it's a wood stove, and you would take out a window and put the oven cooker inside. Mind you, you would be burning wood inside in an oven cooker. Not too different than using a fireplace. But would I demonstrate that? No, I'm not taking out a window. But a burn cooker, because I really have just a couple options where I could put that burn cooker wood stove on my first floor of my house. And no, I would not want to put it in my basement. So to me, that would be something geared towards, okay, set up a permanent structure outside your home, and you can put it there and keep it inside there, and that could become your outdoor, cookery. And two, that would keep you warm inside that structure. Well, because you're going to deal with smoke. I mean, inevitably, smoke is going to go in the house. And when you get that wood smoke and the house smell, it doesn't go away. So this guy's on his phone. What is it with these people on their phones? They don't even look. We got a full house today. Why someone's bringing flowers to work, I don't know. So now I know who this person is that's taking my parking space. That's not really mine. Well, leave a comment below. Nobody leaves comments. What do you think of this angle of video shot? It didn't really affect my driving. And it's better than looking like that David Muir on ABC, which I hate that guy. Anyway, this is Suburban Prepper. This is survival. This is resilience. This is Suburban Prepper.